Hello everyone, welcome. I am As. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not, then welcome back. Today we are going to do a side-by-side comparison of all the three tarot decks by Aphrodite Studio 333. These are the decks created by Natasha Frum. This is the last one that arrived just a few days ago, so this is the last of the series of decks created by her. And since I have now all these three tarot decks, I thought it would be nice to share a full comparison of all these decks. So first of all of these decks, as Natasha says on her website, have been created as a means to explore the relationship with the divine feminine. So all this set of tarot cards, the tarot decks, and also her oracles are meant as an exploration and were born from a deep desire to come into contact with the sacred, in particular with Venus. So all these decks have been thought for that purpose. All these decks also, you have to know, that are also an artisanal creation. So while the art that we find in the cards that has been selected for the cards, the artwork is obviously pre-existent. This artwork has both been maintained in all the three decks, but also has been slightly modified to adjust color and some details by using Photoshop. But this is much of a, as I was saying, artisanal process. So, and also the guidebooks, we are going to have a look at them very soon. So they have been written, as Natasha says, by herself. So let's have a look at the box first. They all feel very similar. They are all very silky, very soft to touch. So we have the two boxes of the Tarot of Aphrodite and the Venus Morningstar Tarot. They are pretty much the same size with some slight differences. While this one, this is the last one that has been released. This is a bigger box, as you can see. Let's compare the boxes. By the way, they are different inside, right? So there is normally a quote: Aphrodite, goddess of love divine, with you our hearts and souls entwine. May your blessings be upon us all as we answer to love's eternal call. And then as you open also this one, this is how the box looks inside, and this is also the back of the card. So she becomes souls to rise and soar, to seek the light, to crave for more. Venus, the morning star so bright, a symbol of hope, of endless light. There is a quotation also inside this one. So again, this one has a magnetic closure. Yeah, this one is magnetic. These two are not. So they just close like that. By the way, when you open it, this is how it looks inside. This one also comes with a ribbon, while these two, they don't have ribbons. But the cards fit very nicely here, so, and are very easy also to put in and take out. While we have a nice ribbon here. Also, this one is the back of these cards, and we have a longer quote. She lives where times forgets to move, in silken air and softened hues, a trace of gold, a breath, a bloom, the echo of a gentle truth. Each fold reveals a tender word of quiet grace, and voices pearled. Step lightly now, the veil is thin, and beauty waits to draw you in. Also, if you see this one lighter than this, it's because actually this is a lighter pink compared to the first tarot deck by her. So all these decks come with an additional, like an introduction card. I have the second edition. Actually, there is a different edition of this one. So the first, obviously, I don't have it. And then this is the guidebook. Now, this is a black and white guidebook written by Natasha Frum. It gives you, so copyright, this deck is from 2023, but I think the first edition came earlier, possibly in 2021, if I am correct. So this is the table of contents. You have on Aphrodite, a prologue on Aphrodite, on the meanings and court cards, some tarot spreads and tips, and then the meanings of all the cards. You have also the story of the birth of Venus. You have some spread samples, as I was saying. This is very nice, and then it goes straight into the meanings. There is the reference to the original work of art, so you have the name of the artist and the title of the painting. You have an affirmation, some keywords, and then the meanings. The meanings here are just upright. I want also to compare this with... This is the Venus Morningstar Tarot guidebook instead. This one is not as extended as the other, as you can see. Big difference. The Venus Morningstar Tarot guidebook doesn't come with those extended meanings, so it doesn't have that meaning section. This one comes, again, there's a reference to the artwork. It's a black and white guidebook, as you can see. The images are bigger. There's an affirmation. You have keywords, you just don't have the meanings. And as you can see also the guidebook, of course, this one is a bit chunkier for that reason. Instead, the Ethereal Goddess Tarot, the deck always comes with also its own introduction card. And then this is the guidebook, it's slightly bigger. And this one goes very in depth. It has color images of the cards. It has an affirmation, still has an affirmation, still has keywords. It gives you both upright and reversed meanings. This is something that you don't get in these two guidebooks instead, so I like the depth of this one. What I don't see here though, unless it is... Yeah, it is at the end, you know. At the end, there is a whole section with a list of the artists and paintings. So Natasha is very thoughtful in this sense, and she always refers to the artists and the paintings. Also, what is nice about this guidebook is that each section, as you can see, is highlighted in a different color. So this is very, very nice, okay? And also very easy to spot the suits, you know. So very, very nice, very in-depth. So again, also this one, I believe it has, for the rest, you know, the same sections, a foreword, an introduction, how to work with this deck, the legend of symbols, this one is new, resuming of the cards, spreads and layouts, of course, and then the meanings. I'm curious about the legends of symbols. Legend of symbols, so you have some suit glyphs, alchemical symbols, planetary symbols, and also the moon phases. This is something different. Also, I've noticed, but we will flip through the cards and see, this deck has been more heavily renamed compared to the others. So you have renaming of the cards, and you have like a summary here of the changes. And what I've noticed also is that there are astrological references on the cards. But I want to say something, but I will wait until we dive into the actual, you know, tarot decks, so to notice some things. So these are the guidebooks and the main differences, of course, between them. I just want to take a moment to say a couple of things. So I had to cover the nudity on some cards with post-it notes, and this see, may look ridiculous, but better safe than sorry, because I don't know what YouTube is going to see. And also in this deck, in the Ethereal Goddess Tarot, so this is the last one that has been released, there is much more nudity compared to the other decks. There is, to be honest, there are a lot of breasts in this deck. It's art. You know, these are paintings. So I think the real shame here is having to do this, but better safe than sorry. I had to place some post-it notes also because if you know Renaissance paintings and history of art in general, some paintings look pretty realistic, and so as a consequence, some of these breasts look pretty realistic too. So I preferred, you are going to say this and I'm so sorry, just know that I have, I had to cover the breasts, basically. So we are going to zoom in a bit. So before having a closer look at the majors, I also want to compare very quickly also the edges. So at first glance, I thought that the Ethereal Goddess had the same edging of the Tarot of Aphrodite. So this is the Tarot of Aphrodite, this is the Ethereal Goddess, and as you can see, they are pretty different. So just don't mind how worn out these edges are, because I use the Tarot of Aphrodite quite a bit for love readings in particular. But as you can see, the edging is pretty different. So these are rose copper foil edges, and the choice for copper is not random, because Natasha says also in the description of the decks that she wanted the copper to remind of the color of Aphrodite's hair. She is usually portrayed having, you know, copper hair. So yes, while, by the way, the rose foil edges instead of these ones of this deck are almost holographic. So you can see also sometimes, like, you see like a rainbow, and you don't see it in these ones. These are more almost copper, but also more silvery, while the Venus Morningstar Tarot has gold foil edges. Also because the Venus Morningstar Tarot is meant to highlight the mystical side of Venus as the morning star and the bringer of light. So the Venus Morningstar Tarot, this one is clearly different. You already see it's warmer. You will notice also because the artwork on this one features details associated with Venus as the light bearer archetype, the archetype of solar illumination. So it gives the deck this idea, you know, it gives the deck this radiant, more radiant, you know, undertone. And so it has a more solar energy compared to the other two Venusian decks. So it's something to keep in mind, but because they are meant to represent different sides of Venus. This one also features a lot of Renaissance art and other classical artistic periods. This one, I know that this one is a little bit more Baroque. So the Ethereal Goddess, the last one, is a little bit more Baroque in the art it features, you know. And these two are similar in the sense that this one is meant to represent the beauty and the warm symbolism of Venus. And so it's very good if you want to tap into the energy of the divine feminine expressed in this more classical and romantic aesthetic. And also the Ethereal Goddess Tarot combines a visual language that appears both timeless, and it has this celestial and otherworldly undertone. And it is inspired by the goddess, of course, blending mythology, but also surrealism and impressionist art. So it is a bit different. You can see it already because it features different art also from different periods, you know. And this one, as you can see already, is much softer. So it's meant to have this much softer palette, and it has this dreamlike atmosphere. I think all three of them have, but this one, as we will flip through it, you will see it has a very distinct flavor and a much more ethereal, celestial, dreamlike one. So let's have a closer look. I hope this is this is enough. So here we have our full cards, and as you can see, they have been heavily renamed, all of them. We don't have any full here. We have the Dawn for the Venus Morningstar, the Pearl, and we have the Birth. This is a time of the day. The Pearl is also something that is usually associated with Venus, and we have the Birth of Venus, which is obviously perfect as the Fool. So yeah. The Magician. What I find a little bit strange is that, so in this deck, as I was saying, we are supposed to have astrological references, astrological symbols. In the Magicians here, for example, in the Ethereal Goddess, we see all the four symbols of the elements, and we have the infinity symbol here, but we don't have any actual astrological reference for the Magician. I would expect maybe if you want to include an astrological reference, maybe to have at least planet Mercury on the Magician instead of having the infinity symbol, which is not an astrological reference. It's just a symbol that we find traditionally in the card, in the Magician card, for example. And I would expect, for example, so to find, I don't know, we have just a shell here, but this is the Fool, right? right? So I would expect maybe to see Uranus here. So that's what I was saying in the beginning, and we will see this in these cards, in this deck, that this is supposed to have astrological references, but I don't think this deck is that consistent in doing that, personally. So in referencing, in associating tarot cards and astrology. So we will see it. We will see it as we clip through, and yeah. Okay, the High Priestess is the High Priestess here, is the Seer in the Tarot of Aphrodite, is the Priestess in the Venus Morningstar Tarot. You can spot the differences in the artwork that has been chosen, of course. Here we have the reference, for example, to the moon, which is correct. This is the Empress, is Aphrodite in the Tarot of Aphrodite. This is the Empress I like the least, personally. It is also featured on the box of the Venus Morningstar Tarot. I think this deck is the less coherent when it comes to the artwork. So this Empress, to me, this painting in particular looks like something completely different from the rest of the artwork that has been chosen for, to represent each card. So this is less of a consistent deck in that sense. For me, of course. So, for example, the Empress, this is what I like to see. We have the planet and the sign. So this is what I would expect to see in every single major card. But, for example, we've already seen in the first cards, this is not something that happens, actually. But here, this is what we expect to see, right? I love this Empress, by the way. I really love this image. So here we have the Emperor, and it is represented as Ares in the Tarot of Aphrodite. I really like this one. It has a certain power, but I honestly like all these Emperor cards. Maybe I like these two better, personally. And here we have the Hierophant. It's the Divine Teacher in the Ethereal Goddess, and the Ancient with a William Blake painting in the Venus Morningstar Tarot. I honestly like all of them, and I'm a teacher, so I like this one in particular. I identify with, the teacher here holding like this kind of a book or notebook in her hands, so yeah. I really like this. I love this card. And here we are with the Lovers. So they are just named the Lovers in all the decks. I love all of them, honestly. How could you not love the Lovers in any deck? So they are pretty amazing usually, right? This is one of my favorite paintings too. This is a pretty different Lovers, right? We see couples here. Here I see a woman with 2 kids. So I don't know. I will be curious also to see which painting this one is. I might actually have a look very quickly. Sorry, just because I'm curious. You feel free to skip it, By the way, the keywords are always union, choice, sacred love, alignment, duality, and soul mirror. True hearts, one flame. The mirror clear. A soul remembers why it's here. So beautiful. So yes, it's pretty much the standard meaning, but the depiction here, the representation is something different. And this comes from, oh my god, this is in German. Amor and Psyche. Yeah, Cupid and Psyche. But in this case, I feel like Cupid is a child. So, and there are actually 2 angels. So I guess one of them is Cupid. I don't know. But it's pretty different, So here we see 2 adult figures. And here Cupid and Psyche are adults. While here I see a child. So it gives me a different flavor. I love the painting, by the way. And look at the colors in the Ethereal Goddess. It's something I really like. These oranges are really stunning. Really, really stunning. Yeah, so this is the Chariot. Again, the Chariot is associated with Cancer, of course. I don't know if this is meant to represent the sun as a planet. I don't know. By the way, I love all of them. You see the more solar energy of the Venus Morningstar too, which is meant to represent a different side of Venus, as we said, as the light bearer. So it makes sense that this deck has warmer and also brighter tones, more yellow, while these 2 are softer. Here we have Strength. And again, we have infinity symbol, again portrayed here in the corner, like in the Magician, because it's not in the card, of course. So I don't know. Yeah. I love all these Hermit cards. This one is maybe, these two maybe I prefer, but this one I really like the light. I don't like the expression of this girl, but I mean, it gives the idea of hermit, like going within, seeking the truth and illumination. But yeah, I like all of them. I just think I like this one so much, and I haven't seen this painting anywhere. So this deck features some paintings that are quite pretty new to me. So here I had to cover some nudity, as you can see. These are the Fates, Fate and Wheel of Fortune. So 3 different names, same card. We have very different things going on because we can see a wheel here, so it makes sense that it's called the wheel. This one, again, the Fates is different too. It represents instead the mythological figures, you know. I know the names in Italian, Atropo, Lacchesi and Clotho, I think. Yes, so the names of the Fates, you know. Clotho, Lacchesi and Atropo, yes. So we have Justice, that is Justice, very similar cards here, just different artwork. And only here in the Venus Morningstar, the Justice is actually blind. I really love the softness of this one. Personally, I really like this palette. I really like this deck. I love this deck, you know. Just keep in mind, it features much more nudity, so I was a little bit puzzled in the beginning. I didn't expect to see so many breasts. By the way, yeah. Both in the Tarot of Aphrodite and in Venus Morningstar, the Hangman is actually stillness. The positions here, the postures are very similar. It is the surrendered in the Ethereal Goddess, which is really interesting, with the more traditional upside down also position. We have Death. In the Ethereal Goddess, it is called the Knight. Love. I love this card. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I love this one so much. Personally, the skull, you know, is more traditional. It's like something I would expect. But I like to see something different from time to time. Temperance. I like this one. So I like how ethereal, again, the artwork is here, compared to the more like sometimes defined heavier lines in the Venus Morningstar. This one is meant to be brighter, but I think because there is something with the type of artwork that has been chosen, that the lines are a little bit thicker sometimes. And so is the effect, I think the tone is less, you know, dreamlike sometimes. Still it is, but it has not the same softness, you know what I mean? So again, Temperance, we have the planet and the sign, so it is pretty consistent here. And now we have the Devil, very beautiful. I'm actually in love with the Devil here in the Venus Morningstar. This is one of my favorite cards. I think this one is Lilith. I love her. I love also this Devil. This one is good too. I prefer these ones. Maybe because also the colors are the ones I prefer personally. I don't know what this symbol is. Why is here? You know, of course it's a pentacle. It's like, but I don't know why it's here in the corner. Also because normally, you know, the Devil in the traditional Rider-Waite representation, the Devil is supposed to be reversed on its forehead, because it is, you know, it has lost its contact with spirituality, of course. The reversed pentacles should highlight temptation, materialism, you know, and being focused on those earthly desires. And here we see just a regular pentacle. So, or maybe it is. It is an inverted pentacle. Yeah, so at least we have an inverted pentacle here. Yeah, it's okay. So now, this is the Tower, which is called in 3 different ways. It's the Tower in the Tarot of Aphrodite. It is the Storm in the Ethereal Goddess. It is the Fallen in the Venus Morningstar. I love all of them. You can interpret them differently by looking at these images, because here I see two people who are like escaping together, like running away possibly from the collapsing of the tower, you know. The storm, I like it too, and I like this figure, and it's so ethereal, while the fallen, this looks like more of a fall of Lucifer, you know, or something like this. So it reminds me of something more biblical maybe. But still, I mean, I like all of them. They are just different. We have the star, 3 beautiful star cards in all of the 3 decks. We have 3 beautiful moon cards. I like the blue, you know, of these cards, but I also really like this one, this more like softer, you know, golden moon in the background. This is so dreamy. So personally, I love this one. Here we have the sun, 3 bright, very bright sun cards here. I really like this one, and this one may be my favorite too. Of course, very feminine sun cards. Here we have Judgment, again 3 different representations, entirely different, and also the information, you know, provided, even if we know maybe the title of the paintings, it doesn't always help us understand what the intent of the artist was, you know, when they painted this. So we just have to trust that this has to do with judgment in some way. Now we have the word. Again, I like the warmth of this one. I also like this word a lot. Again, this is a representation of Venus. We have a male here instead. It looks like Cupid maybe, or Apollo, I don't know. And this is maybe Cupid again, I guess. But I really like the warmth of this one. Many favorite cards here. I really like this deck. So these are the majors. And let's take a moment. I will put also the decks here so you can also appreciate the backs. So they are the same, you know, when we looked inside, at the inside of the boxes, they are pretty much the same, but maybe you want to have a look here too. And now we move into the minors. So first, I want to have a look at the minors, all the minors for each deck very quickly. These are all the aces, I wanted to say the aces, you know, of the Tarot of Aphrodite. As you can see, they are not pippish, so we have figures in each ace. And this is going to be a major difference between all the decks, because they all do different things with the aces. Now we are going to have a look also at the aces in the Ethereal Goddess Tarot. And I love this so much. I think these are my favorite aces ever. But we have some very, very nice and powerful and ethereal close-ups and very bright ones. Look at the light here in this Ace of Swords. This may be one of the brightest, most beautiful dream-like Ace of Swords ever. If we consider, you know, paintings and like having these close-ups, you know. I really like what Natasha Fram has done here. So these are all the aces from the Ethereal Goddess Tarot. Let's look at the aces in the Venus Morningstar. So here we are. These are all the aces in the Venus Morningstar Tarot. Again, a little bit less consistent with the idea, in the sense that we have some close-ups, very similar to what then she has done, you know, in the Ethereal Goddess. But then we have also 2 aces, the swords and the coins, that have, you know, some figures. So, by the way, the ideas are conveyed beautifully here. I think they are some very nice choices for the aces, and this may be one of my favorite Ace of Cups, just because I love shells. So yeah, so let's compare now all the minors. So here we are again, it's the same order, you know, the Tarot of Aphrodite, the Ethereal Goddess, the Venus Morningstar, and we are starting with the Suit of Wands. I think these 2 are my favorites. I love a Sacred Heart, so I think this one may be my favorite too. I love the close-up too. It's very similar to what we have also in the Lacrimosa Tarot. I guess we have, you know, Virus Bay reminds me of one of those cards too. 2 of Wands. Love all of them. I just think I love the expression of this one, like she's thinking, and when she pops up in my readings, I always know how to read her, and it conveys a very immediate message to me in terms of having the sense of choice, and I mean everything that the two conveys, can be tension between two choices also. Usually, she looks like she is reflecting, so I mean this is an image personally that conveys a meaning for me a little bit more. It's a bit more straightforward in that, while here maybe I have to rely more on what I think the Two of Wands is for me. Maybe this one is slightly, but she looks more like she's looking at something more than reflecting, while here I get a sense also maybe of that choice, like we have two figures here actually interacting. Yeah, so very different Two of Wands. This one is the one I prefer, and also I've been using this deck for quite some time, and I'm used also to see this card showing up in readings. Three of Wands. They convey the same meaning, in a slightly different way. This one, for some reason, gives me also a feeling of not only looking at the horizon, like these ones are doing, this sense of anticipation. I get a sense of hope here, just because this one also reminds me a little bit of the flavor of the Star card, just gazing at the sky, almost like you are wishing for something. I don't know. So they give me different impressions. Four Wands. I think we can at least count four figures here in the foreground, while we still have the same issue that we have three figures here and three figures here. So I would prefer maybe it's just me, to see that the two figures celebrating with the garlands and everything, what we see usually in the Four of Wands. But maybe having a four with three figures is something that a little bit, it's not that like confuses me, because I know what the Four of Wands means. I think I prefer this one. So I see a gathering, so four figures in the foreground, and then maybe other people, but here having three people, maybe someone else here that can, this figure, there's a figure here has been cut out because, maybe this painting has been clearly cut and adjusted, to fit into the card. But yeah, I don't know. So I think I just prefer this one personally. Far more festive. Also, this one would be second. I'm not really a fan of this one, but I love the flowers. Just me, Oh, by the way, what we have in the cards here instead, as I was saying, we have the planet associated with the card, and then the suit. So we find the symbol of the suit in the corner. One thing I have noticed is that sometimes we don't have planets. Like here, we have just flowers in the Four of Wands. Just why? I don't know. So there are some strange things. So I don't know what this symbol is in the Two of Wands, because all of these have planet associations, planets in signs. So I don't know. What I was saying in the beginning is that I don't think the astrological associations are super consistent here. It's good to have them sometimes, but the point is that you have them sometimes. So Five of Wands. I love this painting. Six of Wands. And again, also these cards, when I get them in readings, I still have to read with this one because I wanted to do the flip through, They convey, especially these two, completely different nuances, of the Six of Wands. Like here, especially because we have a male figure, so I get more a sense of pride also from this one, like I get vanity a little bit, which can be something that Six of Wands clearly means, But having a male here, when I get this one in readings, especially when I read about love, and someone asks about, his feelings for me, or how does a person feel, I get a strong sense of entitlement from this card. So I don't know. So I get slightly different meanings and nuances. So let me tell you, I love this Seven of Wands. These two in particular, and this one, I'm in love with this one. The only issue is the image. If you look closely, it's slightly, but not much, slightly blurred, but it's not an issue because actually you are not going to notice it that much. And I think because this is, again, is a detail probably of a larger painting, I totally love this Seven of Wands. I was so in love the first time I saw it, as I was flipping through the deck the first time. Like, I love also these colors, like this Eight of Wands. It's just amazing. So I just love the colors here. I mean, look at this. isn't just amazing. And I think having this soft pink border, it just makes the colors all pop even more, especially when they are brighter like this. But I mean, compared to this, which I get the sense, getting news, you know, getting messages, communication. Of course, it can be also fast-paced movement. 8 of Wands can be many things, but I think all of these cards in general focus a lot on the more mercurial, can I say, aspect of the 8 of Wands, like communication, getting messages, news, you know, talking, verbal, written exchanges, yeah, getting news very fast, very quickly, getting news and messages, and then things pick up fast, you know, you can see something moving forward or changing. 9 of Wands, sorry again, I had to cover this. There is some nudity here as well, but I think it's not that realistic. Like, we have some paintings here, but look at the beauty of this. I mean, I love this painting, to be honest. Look at this. So sorry I had to cover this, but you know, again, this is also beautiful 9 of Wands. I think I just prefer this palette, so it's personal preference, you know. 10 of Wands. This is a very powerful 10 of Wands. I get more the sense of 10 of Wands when I look at this. The weight of the world. Clearly you can see here exhaustion as well, right? This was one of the cards with the most realistic breasts, honestly. This almost looks like a photograph, so I had to cover it. So I wasn't expecting this when I saw this card. I had to do something, sorry. So something that you want to keep in mind also, because even if you like the deck, there are some cards like this where there is just plain nudity, you know. I love this smiling page of Wands, by the way. I love it. It really captures the playful feel of the page of Wands, you know, while these ones look more serious. So you get the idea, but they are just different. Knight of Wands. And again, this is another of those cards that I think is not pretty current with the rest of the deck in the Venus Morningstar, just because of the difference in the art style, the use of lines, you know. Someone in the comments a few days ago said, yes, this deck, some cards here look a little bit cartoonish. Yes, and that's probably the word I struggled to find, yeah, to define what, you know, my impression. Love this Knight of Wands. Love this one too. I just love that this one is so fiery, it's so red. I don't know why this is I always see it as a sad Knight of Wands for some reason, because this figure is sad, so it's interesting. I love this Knight of Wands in this deck. Queen of Wands, all of them gorgeous. The Venus Morningstar has one of my favorite Queen of Wands ever. I love pre-Raphaelite art, and so this is just gorgeous. But all of them are beautiful in different ways. This one is smiling too. This one also captures the sense of warmth and generosity and friendliness that the Queen of Wands embodies in her positive aspects, you know. It's just a very warm figure, very friendly, you know, when clearly you interpret it as a person. And I think this one is what resembles more, by the way, the essence of the Queen of Wands, if I have to choose. So I guess, but I love this painting. This Queen of Wands also for the nudity captures a little bit more the sensuality, but also, I mean, also this one, of course, you know, because it's very sensual, captures a little bit more the sensual aspect of the Queen of Wands, of course, has been very passionate and so on, so very attractive too. Yeah, King of Wands. We have male figures, of course, in the kings. I love all of them. Very powerful, sexy, young King of Wands. So the Suit of Cups. I love the close-ups here. I love this Ace of Cups, this figure. This looks like a pre-Raphaelite painting too. This one was so surprising to me, and that's something I've never seen. I just love it. So let's flip through it. Again, I had to cover some breasts here. Two of Cups. The only difference here is that we see two women, and we have a little Cupid. So it's a little bit of a different Two of Cups. These two are more passionate and warmer in the sense that there is physical contact too. I think it makes a difference in readings too. Here it looks like it may be the woman leading. Here is the male who has a more active energy. Like he is Cupid, of course. I think it's a grabbing psyche. The sleepy psyche, maybe. Here the woman is more like active instead, and here we have two women, so very different. Two of Cups, maybe different how you read them in readings too. Normally is the the male also in the Two of Cups who is reaching out to the woman. Here I don't see that. I see a woman, possibly Psyche here, who is pretty much awake, and she seems like also to be almost pulling in, you know, the Cupid is like, I don't know, she looks like a bit more active to me. Normally in the Two of Cups, the figures are just gazing at each other with that tension. Here we have passion and kisses. So Three of Cups, like all of them, honestly. Four of Cups. I get the sense of Four of Cups from all of them. Pretty much, I mean, a lot of nudity here in the Ethereal Goddess Tarot. I get the sense of boredom and apathy a little bit, like. And then we have the Five of Cups. I get the sense again of Five of Cups, very pretty good Five of Cups here. I like the close up. I like that we don't see her face. This is just pure agony, you know. It looks like these two are suffering too. But this one conveys a very different feeling to me. It's even more agonizing, I don't know. Especially because we don't see her expression very well, her face. She's completely hiding her face. Six of Cups, the sweetest card. I get the sense of Six of Cups from these two. I love this one. This one is peculiar because we don't have like this sense of reciprocity, the sweetness. I mean, it's a very sweet card. But these two figures, this one is looking at something else. I don't know. So they are not really gazing with intention at each other, you know, exchanging energy or gifts. I don't know. So this is quite different. I get a sense of sweetness. It's just a different six of Cups, but I love it. And I love the palette again. Seven of Cups. I like all of them. This one gives me such a sense of longing too. So when I get it in tarot readings, in love readings, having that fantasy, you know, that sense of fantasizing about having maybe that dream of love, you know, making that dream of love tangible with someone, which is actually, you know, this is the part of a ship, I guess. It's not even real. So this card is so smart. And this one too. I don't know if this one may be Pygmalion. I don't know if you know the myth, but maybe possibly, you know it. Pygmalion created a statue and then he fell in love with the statue. So again, something that is not real, right? So it's not a human being. And then I think it was it Aphrodite herself? So I will check and put the correct answer here. She intervened, and since Pygmalion was so in love with the statue, she turned the statue into a human being, and Pygmalion married the statue, so the statue of this woman became his wife, you know. There's a little sense of agency in this story, in the sense that the statue, the woman in this case, had little, you know, if nothing, no decisional power, you know, in the story. Like, she was just meant to be the wife of Pygmalion. But are we sure that she was in love with Pygmalion too? So it's just the question, maybe from a feminist perspective, you know, because it's all focused on, yeah, Pygmalion was in love, and so finally he gets the wife. But he gets, you know, to, he manages to marry the statue turned into a human being. So I can see here the message, you know, being, are you in love with a fantasy or with something real? Something like this. So I love this. This Seven of Cups is a little bit different, so it's still dreamy. It looks like a dream you may have at night, which is clearly not real. So it looks like pure fantasy here for me. I see nothing real, so I don't see this duality between what is real, what is imagined. I see just pure dream. Just my true sense, my impression. Of course, then you can read them as you prefer. You can still read, you know, the Seven of Cups in a traditional way. Eight of Cups. I have to say, I love this Eight of Cups in the Venus Morningstar. The sense of living, going towards something we may not know what it is, but we have to move forward. Also, it can be introspection, going within oneself. It's not like a physical move. It can be. This one is not moving. This one is not moving either, but possibly there is movement. I don't know, because she came. This one is already arrived to a shore. On a new shore, because we see water here, and it looks like she has finally arrived. Like, she has also an expression like, oh, finally I'm here, let's see what this place is, you know, never been here. So it looks like a completed journey to me. It's not like she's leaving. This one instead is contemplating maybe with a sense of, oh, I will have to leave something behind, but she's still in the old one, you know, like in the old situation. Maybe she has not left yet. This one is moving. Three very different Eight of Cups, which, I mean, I don't know, again, what is represented here can also influence how you read it. So Nine of Cups, I love all of them. I love this one. I love this one too. I love this softness. I love the expression. It has a little bit of a vintage feel too, which I really like. Very feminine with the roses. That sense of feeling fulfilled, feeling good in yourself, enjoying what is good in life. Just, she's smiling also slightly. She's very content. Ten of Cups. Beautiful. More traditional here with the rainbow in the Venus Morningstar. We have something that looks more like a family. Here we have a figure that looks like she's Aphrodite, surrounded by maybe little cupids or angels or something. And then we have, again, a Ten of Cups that looks like more of a community or something. We don't have a male figure. This looks more like it could be a couple. It might have to do with love, just because of the presence of the males too. Oh, actually we have two. So I don't know, they are very different. Doesn't change much. Probably still gonna read it with, you know, as the Ten of Cups. So Page of Cups, love all of them. I like this one because she's listening. I read Page of Cups as active listening too. Listening with compassion and tenderness, also being interested, you know, in what the other has to say, also having tender feelings. By the way, I love that she's listening to the seashell. Knight of Cups. Love all of them. I love that this one is so joyful too. Queen of Cups. This, I don't get it. I mean, I can get it. I just think I don't like it. And again, it's one of those cards whose style is not current for me in the deck. This one is definitely my favorite, personally. Finally, King of Cups. Very good kings here. I think this is Poseidon, possibly in each card. Neptune, you know. Let's move on. Suit of Coins. So I love the close-up of this one. I already said it. I really like this one. And I think, again, the border and being the image so dark, I think it pops up even more. Yeah. These two are very similar with this cornucopia, you know, of abundance. I love this ace. Oh my God. I love it so much. And this is a cornucopia as well. Just a close-up. I love it. Two of Coins. I get the sense of a dance, of juggling, two aspects of life, two things, two people. Also going with the flow. I mean, it can mean many things, but definitely get the sense from all of them. Maybe here more a sense of indecision, here more of a sense of flowing, dancing. Slightly different, still good, all of them. I like the colors here, of course. I like this more darker background and the figures really pop. I love this Three of Pentacles. I mean, I love this one too. This is one of my, I mean, I've used this deck for so long. I know all these cards very well. This is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. This one too, but not my style. Well, I love the dreamy quality of this one. My God. So Three of Pentacles again. Four of Pentacles. Very different Four of Pentacles. I think this one may be my favorite still, also for the colors. She is very not greedy, but she's contemplating what she has, you know. Maybe hoarding also. You have normally that meaning also, you know, being very jealous of your things. Like, and here we got something similar, the figure holding this box, possibly with her jewels and, you know, precious things inside. So they are all very similar. And then Five of Pentacles. I like this one in particular. Again, love how ethereal this one is. Me and Natasha really did such a good job at finding all this art. Favorite Six of Pentacles. This one is a very famous detail. I don't know which painting it comes from. I see it everywhere. But I love shells, I love pearls, so that may be my favorite. Seven of Pentacles, these are all good. This may be the one I like the least. Again, very current deck overall. This one looks pretty different, just because also the colors here, the way this one is painted is different, so it's a different style, but I mean, still good. I think this one may be my favorite Seven of Pentacles, which is not watching what you've grown. She's actually is almost like it's time for harvest here, you know. It's the grape harvest. I really like this one. Eight of Pentacles, that sense of labor. This one may be my favorite in the sense, in the way she's already done a lot of work here. She's continuing, you know. Yeah, but I like all of them. Nine of Pentacles, gorgeous Nine of Pentacles cards, all of them. I like this one a lot. Ten of Pentacles. We don't have the family, we don't have the legacy here. We have feminine figures again. This looks like almost Nine of Pentacles. Not 10, but it's 10, so you can still read it as 10. This one is entirely different. Maybe you can get a more sense of legacy here or something, but no one of this is really the Ten of Pentacles in the traditional sense. Then Page of Pentacles, coins. I mean, they are called coins in this decks. I still say pentacles, but they are coins. So like this one for the colors and the contrast. Knight of Pentacles. Very different. I don't know if I get a sense of Knight of Pentacles here. I got it just because it's written, while this one may be closer to a traditional Knight of Pentacles as I intended, I guess. I like the sense of intentionality here, like picking the flowers, you know. I get the sense of something that the Knight of Pentacles is very methodical, very intentional, so I might get this. That is going very slowly, the process here, but she is like picking up the flowers, you know, with intention. So Queen of Pentacles, I had to cover something here too. I like both of them. This may be the best. I still get the sense here. This, I also like this painting. This for me has always been a very sad Queen of Pentacles. Very interesting. So I tend to read it in a peculiar way also when it shows up in readings. Like when you finally reach that stability, maybe you are a little bit bored too. Maybe unsatisfied. Not completely satisfied. King of Pentacles. I think I don't get a sense of King of Pentacles from this one. I get it from this one, though it looks slightly drunk. And definitely I can get a sense of Pentacles from this one. So, very different kings. Now, let's move on to the last suit. So, I have already said like this one may be one of the best Ace of Swords ever when we consider, you know, curated art. And then I also love this painting. I have it in another oracle as well, which is named The Truth. So I think it's a very like spot on choice. Still, I mean, I get the sense here. I don't really like the painting, not my style, but I mean, perfect choices overall. Two of Swords. Again, I also have, I think, especially these two paintings, I have them in other decks, and they are always chosen for the Two of Swords. That sense of indecision, listening to different voices inside your head also. I love this one, but I have this one in other decks as well. Three of Swords. I like this. I like this a little bit less. I don't get a sense of Three of Swords, honestly, from this card. She seems to be holding a plate, so maybe it's something different. And this figure, I'm not sure she's suffering. Maybe she is. I had to cover this. Yeah, I don't know, but this one may be for the meaning, you know. I love this painting, but for the meaning I prefer this one. Now for swords, I like this one a lot. I love all of them. These two figures, by the way, are awake. This doesn't look like she's sleeping for me in this one either. This one is, and it's more like maybe closer to, it's closer to what, to a traditional like four swords. It's lovely. Five of swords. These are all quite perfect and quite similar also in the choice of the artwork. Gorgeous Five of Swords. Six of Swords. Very nice too. Very similar. We have two boats. Here we don't, but I still get a sense of transition from this. Seven of Swords. These figures are in similar postures. And she, the creator, you know, she seems also to be choosing always figures that are veiled for some reason. Like you veil your true intentions maybe, or something like this, so I can get it. This is lovely too. Eight of Swords. I think this one is so powerful. Feeling confined by something that is coming at you. It can be also your own thoughts or emotions, because it's water too. Nine of Swords. Definitely I can get it, especially from these two. This one is not a woman, so we have a male figure, which is not common in these decks, especially in, you know, if they are not kings. And I don't know, yeah, this one also has an expression of concern, so I may get it. I love, by the way, how ethereal and dreamy these cards are. It's amazing. So yeah. Ten of Swords. I love the colors. Page of Swords. Again, I get a very different feel, especially from this one, because of the look, the expression, you know. Looks like very suspicious, maybe more than this one. These ones are alert, maybe not suspicious. This one is definitely suspicious, like what you've done. I have to find out the truth, you know, something like this. Now, I have to ask the right questions to find out. Definitely, that is the expression. So we are almost done. Knight of Swords. Love this painting. This looks more enraged, of course. They have very different, you get a very different feel from each one of these. I get the armor here, but not the rage too much. I get that they are thinking a lot. This looks like very enraged. I wouldn't want to make this one angry, you know. It looks like it's going to do something impulsive and quick and not nice. So Queen of Swords, love all of them, and I love this one. I mean, I love this one so much. The colors, look here, amazing. One difference I can say, I mean, for how they are going to work for me in readings, for example, this one, the Tarot of Aphrodite, especially because we don't have many single figures. I mean, we have many single figures here in many cards. Here we have a little bit more of interaction between the figures, in my opinion. And so when I read with this one, I can gather a lot of information just by looking at the posture and what the characters are doing in these cards. This is more like of a traditional core card where I see just a queen, but where I see interaction, this is going to read differently for me in a reading, of course, especially when I'm reading about love. So we have a couple here. So there is a lot here going on between figures, between couples as well. So I'm going to read these ones differently. That's why also this deck works so well for me in love readings, and it's very precise and accurate as well, especially when I read postures and interactions and things like that. And now King of Swords, finally, so we are done. Male figures in the kings, of course, so still a feminine deck, but the kings are kings, you know. And these two This one is Apollo, this one is Apollo too. I'm not sure who this one is, but I love all of them. Thank you for spending this time with me and for diving into these beautiful decks together. I hope this little comparison helped you get a clearer feel for the energy and the different artistic choices behind each one. These are gorgeous decks that you can use. Either I use them personally for love readings, but I also intend to use them for my Venusian practice. So maybe you can also use these cards for an altar dedicated to Venus, or if you have a practice in mind where you want to create certain rituals to honor the energy of Venus in your life. So if you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments which deck drew you in the most. So I love hearing what you are drawn to. And don't forget to like, subscribe, of course, comment. See you soon with more deck explorations and videos, and until then, take good care and keep following what inspires you. Bye bye.